Hello everyone, welcome back. In this episode, we're going to talk about the 4 agreements, and we're going to break down the 4 agreements that's going to help you break through your limiting beliefs and truly live a happy and abundant life. I can say this because this book was actually introduced to me by my therapist when I was going through very deep depression at the time. He recommended me to read this book and I did. Very practical and very simple rules to apply. And the key is you could understand it, which we'll go over right now. You want to be applying it. So that being said, just a little bit about me and then let's dig in. Let's talk about the first agreement. The first agreement is be impeccable with your words. Words are very powerful. Words are a tool that you can use for yourself. You could use it with love. You could use it with hate. The biggest thing with being impeccable with your words is how are you talking to yourself? Are you self-criticizing yourself? Are you self-sabotaging yourself? Are you lifting yourself up? What we don't want to do is use our words as a weapon. That comes from a place of fear. So gossiping, criticizing, judging, self-criticizing, all of this, you don't want to go there. But what you want to do is bring out some love and authenticity. So complimenting, raising someone up. How do you talk to yourself? Are you giving yourself encouragement? Are you giving yourself compassion? Are you cheering yourself up? Are you loving yourself? These are very important. Remember, before we speak, there's usually a thought that happens behind it. So when you're able to gather how you are speaking, basically what you're also doing is you're gathering your thoughts. So we're able to respond and not react. And one thing I want to highlight too, this is how powerful words can be if we use it as a weapon. Verbal abuse is a very real thing. Unfortunately, I didn't have the awareness of how powerful words can be in the past. So I actually been in a situation where it's verbally abusive. But the reason why I was in that situation, I allowed it to happen because I was very critical and judgmental of myself. So once I had the awareness, I started to talk to myself differently. In turn, I started to talk to other people differently. And there was a lot more love that come in, and the love just kept amplifying. And when people try to criticize me, I just don't let it bother me anymore because I had fueled myself with the way I speak to myself, how I speak to others, and how I allow others to speak to me, which leads to agreement number 2. The second agreement is don't take anything personally. That kind of relates to the first example that I just spoke about. So remember, every single one of us have our own paradigms, our programming, our thoughts, our perceptions, and our belief, right? So whatever that person, if someone else thinks and what you think could be completely different. They may be making a comment from their perception, their past experiences, and their belief, which is okay, but don't let it affect you because at the end of the day, you're not responsible for them, but you're responsible for you and they're not responsible for you. And I get it. It is truly easier said than done because there are times things that is said, I'm like, oh my gosh. This is where I just take a step back. I gather my thoughts. I take a deep breath. I relax myself. I put some music and I'm impeccable with my words on my inner self-talk. And then voila, I'm back to who I am. The thing is, you're responsible for your emotions. Don't let other people affect you. Mel Robbins just came out with this new theory called let them. And I love it. And that basically ties into this. Let them. They don't like you, let them. They want to be with you, let them. If you let them. If they want to leave you, let them. We can't control them, but we can control ourselves, right? So again, don't let other people affect you. Don't take anything personally. That's that simple. If you made it this far, you like what I have to say, go ahead and like and subscribe to this video. It'll mean the world to me. And let me know where you need help with or if there's a book that you like. And I will make another video for you. Okay. So the third agreement, this is probably my favorite and the most life-changing for me, is don't make any assumptions. So let me just break this down. Very simple for you. When we make assumptions, right, this is where the misunderstanding could happen, the conflict could happen. One of the things we all have is imagination. And sometimes you don't understand how it works. That imagination could run route from your perception. For example, I used to think what other people think of me, and I make assumptions based on that. But it's not true based on what other people think. It's what I think what other people think. And when I say that what I think what other people think, that also ties into so much more in the past, which I'm not going to go into. But the minute I learned to not make any assumptions of anything, it saves me a lot of time. It saves me a lot of energy. I find the opportunity to ask questions to gain clarity. And when I do that, it's a form of self-love for myself too. It heals whatever is in the process because I feel more confident. I feel more grounded. And when I'm asking questions with the other person, I'm also promoting clear communication. So don't make any assumptions. When that overthinking comes in, when it comes into me, I say, okay, well, I don't want to assume anything. I've learned not to assume, so let me just go ask questions. So instead of spending so much time assuming, what I like to do now, I would just pick up the phone and I would ask the questions I need to. And I even would start my conversation with, hey, I have learned to not make assumptions, so I just want clarity. That really builds up the relationships, not just with other people, but for yourself internally too. It gives you a lot of peace and confidence. And the fourth agreement, which is one of my favorite agreements, is do the best that you can. Just do the best that you can with the highest awareness that you know. This gives you a lot of compassion for yourself, a lot of acceptance for your current circumstance, and you don't need to be perfect. I'm going to give you a great example. Making this video, I just decided I'm going to do the best that I can. This is the third take. I'm doing it on my iPhone, probably not the best quality, but I could see myself. I could be me. I spent so much time setting up this like fancy equipment. I filmed myself. I was all blurry, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do the best that I can. That was not doing the best that I can. I mean, that was doing the best that I can, but the result wasn't that great, right? So at least I know when I am speaking to you guys right now with the equipment that I know is going to capture me at this very moment, I feel very good and I feel very confident. This is me doing the best that I can. I know there's still a lot of room to grow, especially my YouTube channel. I'm still growing this, right? But doing the best that I can every single day, because that's my commitment to myself. I feel good about myself. I feel peace about myself, and I'm always moving forward. And the fourth agreement is going to wrap up all of their agreements, because to be honest, be impeccable with your words. Sometimes I still make those mistakes. I still accidentally say mean things to myself, but I catch myself and I ask myself to stop doing that, meaning this doesn't serve me anymore. This is not who I am. I'm going to ask you to leave whatever I said. And I'm doing the best that I can. Sometimes I react because I'm human, but when I do, I'm doing the best that I can. Once I have the awareness, then I gather my thoughts and I said, you know what? That's a reflection on them and not me. And did you know when people are the most judgmental to other people, it's a reflection on them because they're more judgmental inside on themselves. So this is the 4 agreements. This is a very short summary of the 4 agreements. If you really want the book, go ahead and buy it on Amazon. I have a bunch of resources down below that are free for you to download. That's going to help your own personal growth process. Let me know if there's another book that you want to check out, and I look forward to see you again in the next episode. Bye guys.